Okay, just a quick note on master properties. I got this beautiful, horrendous chart to animate and edit, and I basically just made a quick shape layer and a text layer for this first arrow here. Okay, to show you quick keyframes. Basically, the arrow comes in from the left, and I probably need to have it come in faster because it's beating the word enable. So basically, flies in, and then the word enable kind of scales up, moves, and does a little hook back to land on its resting place. I'll try delaying that a little bit. I like it the other way. All right, so the key is now I want to make this for each arrow, protect, inform, influence, and attack. So there's tons of ways to do this, but this is my favorite. I'm going to highlight both of these that I like, Control-Shift-C. I'm going to go arrow, text, master properties. All right. Then I'm going to go to my layout, essential graphics. Yeah. And then if I come over here and select composition, arrow, text, master properties. First, though, I want to come in here and kind of clean this up. So I made some guides I want to get rid of real quick. So view, lock guides, clear guides, cool. Go see the full space of this thing, like that. Okay. So I know it stops where that arrow tip is. The question is where does it start? It looks like around here. If you don't know this trick, it's pretty cool. Over here, this button is region of interest. If you click on that and then basically draw something out, it'll just render this piece, which is great if you have a complex animation. But another handy tool is you can actually crop the composition to this, which is nice. I'm looking to get that center point right over the tip of the arrow in case I want to align these all later. And that looks pretty darn close. Bring this down about one more pixel. There we go. And I'm going to scoot out just a smidge. Make sure I got that tail end of the animation. Yeah, I can actually scoot it in just a bit. All right, getting a little too nitpicky here. All right, so there, that's the only piece I need right there. I actually undid the clearing guides. And now, if I come up to composition and crop to comp region of interest, now I just have this. So I don't need to worry about all those other pixels. However, it will move the comp, so you're going to have to reset that. No big deal. All right, cool. So nothing exciting yet. But in my central graphics panel, if I come down to this right here, nothing happens. So I got to go in that comp, and this part's pretty cool. If you click solo selected or solo supported properties, I can come in here and I can say, hey, in enable, I want to drag the source text up here. And I'm going to put text in arrow. And I don't think I ever want to change its color or anything like that, but I could put like some properties in here if I wanted to. Right now I don't want to keep it basic. And then the shape layer, the stroke, there is none. Or is there? There is none. The fill is what I want, not fill opacity. So I'm put arrow color. All right. That setup was pretty quick. Gets quicker if you're not recording yourself. So now I'm going to go ahead and I can close out this. I can go back to my normal layout. And now if I have 100 arrows, it's too easy. I'm just going to go Control D to duplicate this. Drag it to where I want it. Over here, this is new, the Essential Panels property. I'm going to turn on my color swatches here. I'm just going to click, change enable to, what was it? Protect. So enable becomes protect, and voila. However, comma, I need to go back into this because I didn't have it on caps lock when I did this. If you want them all to be on caps lock, a little quick tip, come on in here and then just click on all caps. Nothing changed on this one, but when I come back up, protect is also not changed. Hello. All caps. Weird. Alright, well, fine. I'll just do it in all caps. Protect. I think if I would have done it before, it would have been okay. Copy. I'm going to, what was the next one? Inform. So this one, inform. And then I'm going to take the color picker, go with that one. You know what? Watch this. Influence, and it's lowercase, but I'm going to go double check on my comp down here. Make sure it's got all, where's that? Yep, all caps. I'm going to come back up. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to click on this little dude. Boom. Maybe it changed the text. Did that fix it? It did. Hooray. Okay. Grab the color kind of between here. And then, all right, so now I have all my arrows. It took me so many years to find out that there was an align frickin' tab, but there it is. Okay, and that little, and now again, I didn't have to make a new comp. I'm basically using the same one, but these master properties, I think if I go E, no, is it U? Are in the essential panel, essential properties. They made this panel just recently, so it's super cool. I'm sure there's, I know there's 100 different ways to control staggering, but just for quick sake, now we have all these cool little animations. Over here in our bin, there's really only just the one pre-comp. So that's pretty great. There's not 1,000 of them. But now what I want to try to do is I need to make something a little nicer, I guess, for these warfighting functions. And I'm going to start with command and control because that's the biggest as far as text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come up here and I'm going to duplicate this arrow. And I'm going to call this one warfighting function box. Super clever, I know. I'm going to come in here. I'm just going to basically modify this shape. Take the path and turn it into a box. Okay, and enable. Zoom way in here. So not much happens pretty fast. It's not terrible. Kind of comes in the same way. Also, it doesn't feel like that movement works without an arrow, but it's not terrible. So what if we changed, what if we just took off the position keyframes and just let it stay here? So now it should do just a slightly different movement. I like that better. And then for the actual position frames for the word, I'm going to just remove those and make sure that it's center with the square. Make sure it has snappies on over just a little bit more, right about there. All right, so first one is command and control. Make this fit real quick. And shape layer, we're gonna scale up just the width. So S for scale, nope. Unlink, not that. I don't have it centered right. That's on me. Oh, as I move it, I better make sure. Oh, that's right, I've killed the position keyframe. Nifty. All right, I think that's pretty close. Yep. Ah, cool. So now we have command and control kind of pops up. Rightio. All right, now we have warfighting box. Okay, I'm gonna go back up to, actually, I'm sorry, I need to do essential properties real quick. Or sorry, essential graphics. Cool, it's already done because we duplicated it. But I need to make sure it is. Sweet, I had the wrong thing selected. All right, now let's make some boxes. So warfighting box. I'm going to make sure that it's lined up with enable. Also, I don't think that they want them to be the same colors. So what do I do here? I don't know. Maybe a gray. Go light gray. Cool. All right, and that actually, I'm not going to change the. Oops. Oh, uh-oh. What happens when there's only one line? Watch this. I'm going to go into warfighting functions. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to make sure I'm on warfighting functions. And then I'm going to come in and push P for position. And I'm going to drag it up there. So that'll work. All right, so now since I've dragged this up, in every one of its instances, now position is an option to control. So now intelligence, I'll just drag down a little bit. Oh, that's a little too much. Right there. Nope, jeez, why won't you stick? There we go. All right. That's not what I wanted to happen. All right, there we go. And for this one, protection. Oh my goodness. And then movement and maneuver, we're going to grab control, command and control. Movement and maneuver. Shnikes. Oh, cool, it fits. Okay, and then we need this guy again. The reason I'm grabbing that one is because it's already kind of centered. Fires, and then the last one, sustainment. Oops. All right. Lastly, but not leastly, super importantly, gotta name our layers. So I'm gonna go arrow. Cool, cool, cool. And yeah, now I'm gonna make all these arrows. So, hooray! Let me double check, make sure that they're. Oops, wrong one. Not info, line. And now we will color code these real quick. We'll go cyan for those. And these dudes can be army green. Scoot them over. Stagger these, knowing that they go in reverse order. So I'll just do a little bit like so. That's it. And, you know, this is all dynamically linked. So I'll go ahead and turn off that. And just kind of see where we are. Coming back over here. Oops. Oh my goodness. There we go. Turn off all this. And we'll just have the basic on right now.
And I'll walk the dog real quick on how they contribute. So there's lots of little lines in here.
And I can see now I do not like influence at all. So maybe we skip that color on this one. Where was it at? My default view. Under essential panels. I'm gonna click this dude and go just a slight bit lighter. And actually with the black, I'm gonna bring it up just a notch. Cool. All right, let's see how that looks. Much, much, much better. All right, that's part 2, I guess. So now that I have all these boxes created, and we saw how quick and easy it is to make them, I realize now that they're really off-centered. So let me unlock my guides and clear them. So what I want to do is I want to move it all to the center, sort of. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a quick null. So layer new null, unlock this. I'm going to highlight everything, and then I'm going to control click the null, and then I'm going to parent everything to the null. And that way I can not mess with any kind of position keyframes. And what I'm looking at now is I'm looking at the gray boxes and the arrow tips. So basically I'm trying to visually place it, these gray lines, sorry, let me zoom in, these guides right here, I'm trying to get that in the middle, and it looks like it needs to actually, I'm looking at the tips of the arrows, so that looks pretty good. To help, I will turn off that, and you can kind of see better. Actually, I could go up a bit too, so we'll do that. All right. And then now for the next step is to create all these lines, which is going to be a super fun process. Lots of trim pathing coming up is what I'm thinking. So we'll start with Command and Control. I don't need this null anymore. Well, not now, so I'm going to just push delete. And to be quite frank, I could also hide all of these. They're just going to get in my way. So there we go. Back to very basics. Ooh, but what we should do before though, let me unhide those, is kind of lock them. And that way I can't accidentally click on them. All right, should we keep the circle? I think so. So let's do a shape layer with a fill of black, maybe. Because he references colors of the lines. And then I'm just going to create. And we could do the same thing here. We could create another, basically essential properties if we wanted something neat to happen with just the circle. So if we wanted the circle to kind of pop on or something. So, well, it's saying the long way. Layer, transform, is it anchor point? I think it's anchor point. Where was it? Oh, read. Center anchor point and layer content. All right, so this is where we want the circle to end. But how can we make it, a little more interesting, right? So I'm gonna go shift page down because I only wanted to go 10 frames. And then we'll set a keyframe on the scale, make it go down to 0. So at least now it kind of comes up. Kind of boring, but we're gonna make it something neater. I'm gonna go a couple keyframes past, set another keyframe, so nothing really happens here. It gets to 100%. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crank this up just a little bit, and I'm gonna ease everything with F9. Plop, neat. All right, so we got our fun little circle just kind of pops on. Maybe what we could do now is we could, I'm gonna add a stroke to this. Just for now, let me just pick something absurd color-wise so I can see what I'm doing. And what I want to do is just kind of like a little, almost like a little dash kind of go around it. So on the ellipse, path stroke, maybe we could add dashes to it and then have them offset. So what if we did that? We go offset from craziness to more crazy. That's way too crazy. Let's bring that down a notch. That's kind of fun. Shorten the gap. Okay, so now the question is what color do we make it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the fill. I'm going to alt-click on the color, and I'm going to pick whip to that dark one, and then I'm going to change its opacity to 50%. While that doesn't quite work at all, But what if we added another stroke that underneath it that was like white or something? Let's try that. That's a fill, dummy. Okay. Oh, there's a code on it. Goodbye. Oh, that's better. All right, so now we have a little... And then I think we should probably, after that's done, have it maybe shrink down. So stroke width on 2 is going to be linked to stroke width on 1. Okay, and then that way we can have them both come down at the same time. I'm going to mark this one as 3, and then have it just kind of gently fade off. All right, that was a lot for very little. All right, but hey, we have circle now. This one probably wouldn't be such a big deal to create a essential graphics for, but it's just kind of a pain to dig down into basically the fill color. So I'm gonna type in fill, turn it to black, and that's the stroke fill, of course. It's this fill. So if I turn it to black here, we got that little gray outline, which is pretty nice, and it dissolves. All right, forget it. I'm gonna make a flippin' Mogurt out of it. Or not Mogurt, Essential. So circle, master properties. Okay. And just like before. Right there. Going to come in here. Make sure I give myself room for the over animation part where it goes a little bigger. Oops, see, I didn't do it. Okay, scoot over just a bit. Oh my god. Okay. Comp. Where is it? Cropped comp. And then essential graphics. And I just really want the color, so I need to go to my circle. Yeah, but I'll solo anyway, because it's fun to see it all. That's the stroke, which we don't want, because we have it already linked together. We want circle color. Back to default view, and then back to our fun composition. All right, so here's this one. We're gonna make sure it's all the way on top, by the way. Okay. For now. All right. So now we just duplicate these. Oops. That's not right. Oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. It never matters. That's why it doesn't matter. I'm going to do that anyway. All right. Where was it? Where's my little essential? Oh, here it is. Blue. Yellow. Green. Yikes. Red. And le purple. That's how you say it. French. All right. Scoot these dudes over. And then I guess we could offset them if we wanted to. Sure, why not? I really should invest in one of those plugins. Pop, 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 pop. Neato burrito. Alright, I don't think I'm going to worry about... I don't think I'm going to worry about the arrowheads on this one. I'm just going to draw some lines. So on this one, it's going to be about the trim paths. So we're going to go layer, new. I mean, there's a few things we could do with this, but I'm going to keep it simple on this one. I'm going to go new, shape layer. Color right now doesn't matter, but what does matter is the thickness of the line, because there's two different line types. There's bold and thin. So we got to make sure they're differentiated just enough. All right, so I have my new layer, shape layer, and it's above the black circle. We're going to individually put it down below. I'm going to make sure I have my pen tool selected and that I'm creating a new shape. I'm going to go from the middle, and then I'm just going to go all the way into the first one. It looks like go with 11 pixels on that. Now what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna set my anchor point by pushing Y. Maybe. Where's my anchor point? Oh, my anchor point's way down here, of course. I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna come up here, and I have snapping turn on up here, so it should snap up here. So this will be, ooh, you know what? We should probably make an essential panels, essential graphics on this one too. All right, let's. Oh man, that's gonna be. All right, fine. We'll call this thick line, and then we're going to dial this down and add a trim path. Dial that down. And it's currently at 100%, which is great. Let's say it takes 10 frames to get there. I'm going to drag that end. I'm going to come back over and drag it down to 0 and just make sure it's going the right direction. And it is. All right. Now, if I go with rotation here, just making sure that my anchor point's set correct. Which, what the heck, man? Anchor point, I hate you. Why? Stick there. Now if I go rotation, there we go. Awesome. Okay. Man, I got some ideas for this guy. We're gonna do that. Let's get this thick line looking how we want it. Not worried about the color. So the question is, why do you want to make this into a essential graphic? And I'll show you. Control-Shift-C. Actually, you know what? We'll do something different. We're gonna do something different here. Okay. Essential panel. Control-Shift-C. Thick line comp's fine. Let's go into that one. We'll do the same thing as we did before. Gonna draw. Very basic. There we go. And then comp. Crop the region of interest. No, not that one. I want essential. And then under here, oh, we need to come to the right one, which is thick line. Under thick line, things we want color for the stroke, stroke width. I think that's it. Yeah. All right. By default. And the thing we want to make sure on this though is that we need to reset our yeah, we could have done rotation too, but that's fine. That's too easy to do on this one. All right, so now we're going to change it to black. We're going to put underneath the circle one. Come. I need to turn on the background. Make sure I got the right, not color palette. Where'd it go? Oh, that's why. All right, and now we're going to duplicate that one and rotate it. Oh no. Oh no. All right, so here's the problem. comp wasn't long enough. Which, while we're looking at it, we might as well make it able to go all the way from top to bottom. So, what we need to do is come back in here, go to comp settings, and make it wider. We don't need to make it taller. Don't need to make it that thin. Ooh, but we could. Okay. And we're going to take everything and shift it over because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Fine. Oh. Whatever. Alright, save that. I'm going to go back now. Alright. So, oops. That kind of works. Here's where we're going to run into issues. When we want it to just go to inform, for example. So, the solution there is to, in the Essential Graphics panel, we're going to add the trim path endpoint. So, that would mess up the animation. So instead, what we're going to do kind of a cheat way to do it. We could also add another trim path, I think, to the end of it, or to the bottom of it. And so basically this dude can control the end. So this is at 100, but this overarching one can control the length. So let's say I set this to 68. The animation should still work. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to take this up here and I'm going to go length trimmed. All right. Now we're going to go to default. We're going to go back over here. We're going to look at our beautiful animation here. Now under inform, which is this one, we can make it go where we want. And it won't mess with the actual animation of it. Nice. Hip hip hooray. Alright, back over here. This looks like only those two main lines. Alright. So we're gonna go ahead and name them real quick. Thick black 1. Control C, Control V, thick black 2. All right. And this is tricky because I don't want to, wish I could color match those, but I'm going to call them bright yellow for now, which should be confusing later. Hooray. All right. So now we have those two. What we can do now is Control D. And we're going to call this one, we should have started with a color, black thin 1. I'm going to turn up the rotation. And this one's going to fire into protect, but only go that far. And we're going to call that 3 points. Nope. We're going to call it 7. It's not enough of a differentiator. 5. All right, so that's black thin 1, Control D. All right, starting to name it for us. Go down here, full length. Now you can probably start seeing the advantage of making Essential Graphics. And black, black thin 3, rotation. Let's go down here. Mm, 56. Yeah. Cool. Cool. All right, let's turn off that background and see what that looks like. Okay. That's kind of waiting for the action to happen here. All right. All right, I don't think that thickness is going to work. So here's what we're going to do, kind of thinking ahead of how many times we're going to change this flipping graphic. We're going to create a new layer, create a new, I like to use adjustment layer, and then I'm going to put a control on it. So slider control. Okay, now this slider control we're going to set to 7. And then for all of these, we're going to pick whip, stroke width to, I'm pushing E for expression. It's not like U. So now we're going to pick whip, stroke width. Come on. Up to slider. Okay, I won't hide the stuff I don't need to see. That's why I did that. All right, so that's 1. I'm gonna go ahead and do it to the other 2 real quick. And then when I duplicate this, I won't have to do it again. Stroke width to slider, enter, pick width, stroke width to slider, enter on the numpad. And then I'm going to make another, this slider is going to be called thin strokes. And then I'm going to create another one called thick fatty strokes. And let's crank this guy up to 15. All right, back down here. I would have done this in the first place, so I wouldn't have to do these. Okay. Central panel, and that's thin strokes. So now I need thick strokes, and alt click stroke weight to that one. Okay, and then essential graphics, stroke width, alt click and drag to slider and push enter. Now let's see if this magic works or not. Coming up to, my adjustment layer, which I'm going to now rename control for stroke weights. And if I come up here, hopefully, it didn't work. It didn't. Oh wait, did it work? If I change this to 2, why did this one work? Go above 60. Ooh, I know why I won't go above 60. Come on in here and go, I think it's Control Shift, nope, not Control Shift K, nope, Control K, there we go, Control K, and it's not tall enough. Cool. So I just basically made that pre-comp a little taller, and now I'm going to go, I'm having too much fun with this. I'm going to come over here, and now I can make them super thick. All right, but for now, let's stay same. Okay. You know what? I don't need to see that either. Goodbye. All right, so I got my black strokes. I think I need to actually center these dudes up real quick. Oh, I'm gonna lock that so I don't click on it. So these need to be a little prettier as I start making my other lines. I don't want to have to adjust these later. Okay. Circles, warfighting function, and arrows. We can now, I believe, lock all those. Before I do that, make sure they're all hidden. Lock and hide. Okay, and now it should be pretty quick from here on out. So let's take a thick black. I'm going to move it to the top, and this one's going to be called blue thick. I have it start here. I have no reason why. Position, move her down right there. And the color, click, blue. It goes across, but we don't want that, so we rotate it up. And control the length. There. And that's the only one for that one. So we're going to now go blue thin 1. All right. In this one, let's find it. There it is. Okay. Click on that and then change the position right there and rotate. So it hits this dude. Okay, and then change the width or the length just a bit. Yeah, I totally missed that by like a mile. Good Lord. Okay, actually that rotation's okay, but I kind of want it to end touching the black. There we go. Okay, and then now this dude comes up here and I believe rotates like so. Okay. Looks like intelligence is on all of them. So the rest of this should be simple. Make sure I didn't just screw up my black lines. Okay. Ooh, that gave me an idea too. Great. Good idea, Fairy. Shut up. Okay. So I'm just basically pushing Control D and then the hotkey R to rotate. We need to rotate just a smidge more, so I'm going to dial this one in by hand. We'll call it 40. That's good. And then one more. Make her a little bit longer. And then rotate. I'm going to type this one by 0.5%. 50.5. Perfect. Cool. So the good idea Fairy hit, the thick line's probably going to come in first and then all of those. So black, thick, scoot over. Boom, 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 boom. I'm pretty happy with this. Pretty basic, but pretty... Now, I have a feeling I'm going to want to be able to control the transparency of these lines. So, the question is, how do I want to group the transparency? In other words, all black lines or thick black and then thin black, and then maybe a master one. Let's see what happens. Layer, new, adjustment layer, and I'm just going to call this one transparency. Sure. I don't think I need my color panel anymore. So this one we need a slider control. And this one's going to be thick black lines. No, we're going to call it by color first. Black, thick. And I wonder if I could probably set that, whatever. I'm just going to, ooh, 100. Okay, and then we're going to go black, thin. Yikers. I should have done this at the beginning. Transparency. Alt click on these and click to crud. I messed up. I'll bring this guy down here for now. E? Yeah, E. Bring these down. black thin. Alt click black thin. Or, yeah, this is smarter, I think. Okay, so now I can just control it from this one layer here. Yes, I can. Sweet. All right, and then black thick. Get rid of these three right now. Thick black. Oh, brain fart for a second. All right. Black thick slider. Test. Good. Okay. Now, I feel like I could do this for each one of those inside one transparency layer, which is probably what I'll do next. And then I push T for transparency, push E to show thick and thin. Now the purple one only has one thick. So I alt click on that and then I drag it to the thick slider, enter on the numpad, and I'm done with that one. Instead of doing this like this for each way for the thin, basically I copy the code and then I can just alt click, Control V, and enter on the numpad. And then basically I have sliders attached to the certain line. So you can see the purple one thickening up, or I'm sorry, becoming transparent and non-transparent. So to recap, these little guys pop on, those pop out, and now I can control everything. Whew. So the trick now is to time it all up in a. I also need to put those titles on there, which I'm not really looking forward to doing. Just feels kind of meh. But what I will do is I will take. I'll do that in Premiere actually. Okay, so here's the trick on how I do this with dynamically linking. I'm going to turn off the background. I'm going to create yet another adjustment layer. Actually, I could just do it on this one. And pop in a time code. So now, control, you don't need to save it, but just force a habit, I guess. Now when I come over here, I can see when I need to have things happen. So let's see what happens.
Walk the dog real quick on how they contribute. So there's lots of little lines in here.
Okay, so by 3 seconds he says there's lots of little lines.
And basically from the warfighting functions to the information activities. And these just the lighter lines just represent that each of the warfighting functions is going to contribute one way or another to the information activities.
Okay.
The bold lines represent the.
Now I'm wondering if I should have. But let's have everything come in by 12 seconds. Okay. So by 1 second we have all of those go up. I'm going to move the dots, or sorry, the circles to there. And then we'll scoot this back just a notch. Scoot this up. And I'm just eyeballing this one. So now by 9 seconds it's there. Okay. At 11 seconds, what we're gonna do. wonder if there's an easier way to do that. We're going to have the the thick sliders go to like 15%. So I'm going to go shift page down. And I wonder if I can highlight more than one. Oh, I can. Good. Oh, I don't want to do that. Control, and then type in 15. That's all the thick lines. Yes. Cool. All right, let's see. That's at 12 seconds, so.
Warfighting function is going to contribute one way or another to.
So let's see when he says that. So I'm just basically going to turn this off and actually turn off the background too. And go that so.
The lines in here, and basically from the warfighting functions to the information activities, and these just the lighter lines just
the lighter lines is here. So at 11 seconds, we need to see just the lighter lines. So I'm going to go back to right about here, and I'm going to grab all of this and holding shift while I drag, or not, good lord. If I hold shift, it'll snap to that point. So at 11, shows the thinner lines. Okay, let's see what that looks like.
Represent that each of the warfighting functions is going to contribute one way or another to the information activities. The bold lines represent, so at 19 seconds, we're going to transition back. So I'm going to copy all those keyframes, go to 19 period, and paste. And I screwed that up. I think I just need to come in and, actually, you know what? We're going to highlight all the thick. Come on now. It's not all of them, is it? We're going to set a keyframe. Go shift page down, move forward 20 frames, change it to 100. Now, we want to also have the thin lines fading out. All right, so there's the thin. So we'll start here. And we'll make this 15%. I think it was 15. Was it 15? Yeah. Okay. Back over to Premiere. Whoop. So there's lots of little lines in here, and basically from the warfighting functions to the information activities, and these just the lighter lines just represent that each of the warfighting functions is going to contribute one way or another to the information activities. The bold lines represent the primary contributions. So the command and control warfighting.
Okay, so at 23 he starts talking about the command and control. 23, Michael George's number for seconds.
Function, it primarily contributes to enable. Remember, the purpose was to enable friendly command and control. They also help with inform.
Okay, so at 23 seconds, now we can just hit U, which is great. Now I just want the black. So at this point, I'm going to set a keyframe for all of them. Page down twice. Do thick first. No, not 0, 15. And then black, though, needs to have a marker for thin. No, thick. No, thin. And then that goes to 100. Cool. All right, I tell you what, let's just render a chunk. Set the N with an I, and then an O with O, and I'm push enter. Let's just see what it looks like. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that should not have taken 2.5 minutes.
Real quick on how they contribute. So there's lots of little lines in here, and basically from the warfighting functions to the information activities, and these just the lighter lines just represent that each of the warfighting functions is going to contribute one way or another to the information activities. The bold lines represent the primary contributions. So the command and control warfighting function, it primarily contributes to enable. And remember, the purpose was to enable friendly command and control. They also help with inform, and that is the informing of audiences as a primary contribution. Intelligence, primary contribution.
Cool. All right, so we're just going to keep doing this throughout the thing and call it good. I'll put in those 2 titles in Premiere and magic.